Welcome back to the channel, where we dig deep into the laws, benefits, and financial secrets that put power back in your hands. Today's episode is incredibly special because it touches on dignity, respect, and financial freedom for our seniors. We have combed through the latest updates on the Elderly Statute to bring you the 10 most critical benefits you are entitled to. But before we dive into this treasure chest of information, I need you to do something that takes just 1 second but makes a huge difference. If you believe that our seniors deserve the very best care and respect, go ahead and hit that like button right now. It helps this video reach more people who need this information. And if you are new here, make sure you subscribe and click that notification bell. We are building a community here that stays informed and stays ahead of the curve, and I don't want you to miss our next update. Let's start with the basics, because there is often a lot of confusion about when you actually become eligible for these benefits. You might hear people say 55, others say 65, but let's look at the letter of the law. According to federal law and the General Elderly Statute, an elderly person is legally defined as someone who has reached 60 years of age. That is the magic number. Once you hit 60, you step into a new legal category that offers you specific protections. This statute effectively reiterates rights that might have been loosely mentioned in the Constitution before, but it solidifies them and guarantees new ones. It is designed to ensure that as we age, we aren't just left to fend for ourselves, but we are actually supported by the system we contributed to for so long. However, and this is a big however, that you need to pay attention to, there are exceptions to this age rule. While the general umbrella of protection opens at 60, certain specific financial perks have different age triggers. For example, when we talk about exemptions for public transportation fares in many jurisdictions, the law might set the bar at 65. The same often applies to specific income benefit payments, or very specific types of tax exemptions. So, throughout this video, keep in mind that while 60 is the gateway, some of the most lucrative financial perks might require you to be just a few years older. It's a tiered system, and understanding where you fit in that tier is crucial to maximizing your benefits. Let's talk about the first major pillar of these rights, and this is one you can likely see and feel in your daily life, but you might not be demanding it enough. It is the right to priority. This isn't just about courtesy, it is about the law. The statute guarantees priority to elderly citizens in almost every interaction with public and private institutions. Think about the last time you went to a bank, or a government office, or even a utility company. You know those long lines that seem to stretch on for hours? Under the statute, you are entitled to immediate attention. This priority extends to the processing of legal procedures as well. If you have a lawsuit or a legal claim stuck in the courts, the law often dictates that cases involving seniors must be fast-tracked. The system recognizes that time is a precious commodity, and delaying justice for a senior is effectively denying it. This also applies to receiving tax refunds. In many places, when income tax season rolls around, seniors are bumped to the front of the line for refunds. Imagine knowing that your money will be returned to you first, simply because of your age status. It is a powerful right, but it is one that you often have to assert. Don't be afraid to check the box that says senior or elderly on your forms. It is not asking for a favor, it is claiming a legal right to efficiency. Health and care protections. Moving on to something even more critical, let's discuss health. The statute is very clear that the right to health is fundamental. This goes beyond just having access to a doctor. We are talking about the comprehensive supply of medicines and prosthetics. In many frameworks under this statute, the government is required to provide not just basic care, but specialized care. This includes priority in receiving medical attention in both public and private hospitals, except, of course, in emergency cases where risk of life dictates the order. But for routine procedures, exams, and consultations, your age gives you a fast pass. Furthermore, there is a strong emphasis on the prevention of disease. The law encourages and sometimes mandates specific vaccination programs and preventative screenings for the elderly population specifically. It is about proactive care. Another aspect of this is the right to a companion. If you are hospitalized or under observation in a health facility, the statute often guarantees the right to have a companion with you full-time. Doctors and hospitals have to accommodate this unless there is a strict medical reason not to. This prevents that terrible feeling of isolation that can happen in hospitals. It ensures you have an advocate, a family member, or a friend by your side when you are most vulnerable. Let's circle back to that transportation benefit I mentioned earlier, because this is a huge money saver. Mobility is independence. The moment you stop moving, your world shrinks. The elderly statute fights against this by mandating free or heavily discounted access to public transportation. As we noted, while the general rights start at 60, this specific perk often kicks in at 65 in many regions. This usually applies to urban buses, subways, and trains. In some cases, it even extends to interstate travel. Imagine wanting to visit family in another state or city. Under certain provisions of the law, a percentage of seats on buses or trains must be reserved for the elderly for free. If those free seats are taken, the law might require the remaining seats to be sold to seniors at a significant discount, often 50% off. This is massive for anyone living on a fixed income. It means your ability to travel, to see the world, or just to visit your grandchildren isn't limited by the rising cost of tickets. But again, this is one of those rights where you need to have your documentation in order. You usually need a specific senior ID card or simply your government ID to prove your age at the ticket counter. Never simply pay full price without asking, "Is there a statutory discount for seniors available?" You would be surprised how often the answer is yes, but the ticket agent won't offer it unless you ask. Let's get into the financial nitty-gritty, because this is where the statute of 2026 really shines. We need to talk about income and taxes. One of the most significant burdens for anyone is property tax and income tax. The statute often provides pathways for exemptions. For example, in many jurisdictions, if you are over a certain age and your income falls within a specific bracket, often just retirement income, you may be fully exempt from filing income tax returns or paying tax on that retirement income. There are also specific provisions regarding property tax. Some laws allow for a freeze on property tax assessments for seniors, ensuring that even if your neighborhood values skyrocket, your tax bill stays frozen in time, keeping your home affordable. Additionally, there is the concept of the Continuous Benefit Payment, or BPC. This is a safety net designed for those who have hit that age of 65 and cannot support themselves financially. It is basically a guarantee that no senior falls into absolute poverty. It provides a monthly minimum wage to elderly individuals who can prove they do not have the means to provide for their own maintenance, nor can they have it provided by their family. It is a crucial lifeline. And getting this benefit doesn't always require a history of contribution to the Social Security system, depending on the specific local laws. It is a social assistance right, not just an insurance payout. We have to touch on a darker, but necessary, part of the statute: protection against violence and abandonment. The law has become much stricter regarding the treatment of the elderly. It is now a specific crime to discriminate against someone based on their age. This includes the job market. If you are fit and want to work, companies cannot discriminate against you solely because you are over 60. In fact, some statutes require large companies to have a certain percentage of their workforce composed of seniors. Furthermore, the statute takes a hard line on financial abuse. We hear horror stories of family members or caregivers taking advantage of a senior's finances. The law empowers the elderly to take swift legal action, and it increases the penalties for anyone found guilty of coercing a senior into signing documents, changing wills, or giving power of attorney. If you ever feel pressured or unsafe, know that the law specifically highlights your safety as a priority for the state. There are dedicated councils and hotlines established strictly for the rights of the elderly. You are not alone, and the system is designed to intervene aggressively to protect you. Hitting age 60 isn't just about getting older. It is about unlocking a toolkit of rights. You have the right to priority service in lines and legal processes. You have the right to comprehensive health care and a companion in hospitals. You have the right to free or discounted transportation to keep you mobile. You have the right to tax exemptions and potential benefit payments to secure your financial baseline. And you have the right to be protected from discrimination and abuse. These are the secret rights because so few people talk about them openly. They are written in the statute, specifically Law 10.741 and its modern updates for 2026, waiting for you to use them. My advice? Take a look at your local regulations, or consult with a social worker or a lawyer who specializes in elder law. Carry your ID with pride and don't hesitate to ask for the priority and discounts you are entitled to. You have earned them through a lifetime of work and contribution. I really hope this breakdown helps you or a loved one navigate these golden years with more confidence and financial security. If you found value in this video, please leave a comment down below. Let me know which of these rights surprised you the most. Or if you have successfully claimed any of these benefits, share your story. It might encourage someone else to do the same. Don't forget to share this video with your family groups and friends. Knowledge is power. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.